Hello and welcome to another whiteboard training video. I'm Isaiah Henkel with Cheeky Scientist, and today we're talking about how smart PhDs are mastering LinkedIn's new algorithm. So you probably noticed that LinkedIn has gone through some changes and is going through some changes. They did a huge update to their user interface earlier last year, and they've continued to make a lot of tweaks and updates to their algorithm. And why does this matter to you as a PhD who wants to get a job in industry? Because LinkedIn is what employers use to find job candidates. More than any other social media platform, really more than any other method right now, LinkedIn is being used. In fact, 96% of companies, employers overall, are using LinkedIn to help them hire candidates. And they're on LinkedIn. So if you're not on LinkedIn yet, if you haven't finished your profile, made a professional profile, if you're not networking on LinkedIn, if you're not increasing your LinkedIn activity, which matters, you're missing out. And so what we're going to talk about here is some strategies that you can do to make sure that employers can find you on LinkedIn. And the name of the game on LinkedIn when you're a job candidate is visibility. What can you do to increase your profile's visibility so that when a recruiter or hiring manager or any employer types in a skill or a job title or any other search term, your profile comes up in their search. And doesn't just come up in their search, but comes up in the top of their search. All right, so here I'm going to talk about 5 things you can do. Now, we do have an advanced webinar on this. It's a free webinar tomorrow, which is Thursday, and that's March 15th. So tomorrow, Thursday, March 15th, 19th, yeah. So the 15th of March, tomorrow at 1 p.m. and again at 9 p.m., we are doing an advanced webinar on LinkedIn, mastering LinkedIn's algorithm specifically for PhDs. If you haven't signed up for that webinar yet, go to our Facebook fan page where you might be watching this right now, and there is a post on there for the webinar. I'll pin the post to the top of the page after this video. But the 5 things I want to talk about here are, starting with number 1, target the job title and job posting, okay? Target the job title and job posting. This might seem like a no-brainer, but what I mean by this is think about it from an employer's perspective. What is the first thing they're going to type into LinkedIn search bar when they want to find somebody for a research scientist position, or for a project manager position, or for a data scientist position? They're going to type in that job title. They're going to type in data scientist. So if you don't have the phrase data scientist on your LinkedIn profile anywhere, and preferably in your headline, you're not going to show up in their search. You're going to drastically limit your visibility. So you have to find a way to get these job titles into your LinkedIn profile. Now, if you can't put it into your work experience section because you haven't had that job title, that's fine. You can still put it in your headline. You could put seeking data scientist positions. If that's too bold for you, or if you don't want your PI to see it, or whatever reason, you can say, I have XYZ skills relevant to data scientist positions. Or I have data scientist-like skills. It doesn't matter, just get the word data scientist in your headline and put it in your profile too. Again, use the word relevant. I'm going to come back to that because it's a really important word, relevant. You don't have to have experience with that exact job title, but you can still use that job title throughout your profile. We're going to talk about more creative ways to use these job titles in your profile during the webinar tomorrow. Also, all the other keywords you need to use on your profile for the jobs you're interested in are on the job postings. So what we recommend that you do is narrow down the jobs that you want ideally to 3 different job types, right? Like let's say research scientist, application scientist, and project manager, right? And then go out and look for job postings for those 3 categories. And then collect all those different job postings, collect all the content, put all the content into one Word doc, and then copy and paste that content into a word cloud. Go to wordle.com, wordcloud.com, wordclouds.com. You've heard us talk about this hack before, because what it will do is the word cloud will show you the words that are used the most, the key words. Most of the word clouds will remove the word the or and the biggest words are the words that are used the most. And then you can make sure that your LinkedIn profile will show up in a search for any one of those job titles, right? So make sure for each of those job titles you find 5 to 10 job postings, collect all that content, put it into a word cloud. It's going to show you which words you need to put on your profile to show up in searches again for those job titles. Number 2, target location and industry. Okay, location and industry. This is my little world map here, right, for location, and the sector of industry, right? So you want to make sure on your LinkedIn profile that you're putting the cities you want to work in, even the countries you want to work in. Realize that most employers, they would prefer to hire locally if they could, right? They want to hire somebody that's local or that at least knows they're willing to work in that city. Because it takes a lot of the strain out of the job search. It can save them money too, right? They're probably trying not to fly somebody from another country or from another side of the world, so at least their initial searches are going to be for somebody local. Now, most companies will fly you from another country or from another city in the same country, but they're going to still search locally first. So make sure that you put in the cities you want to work for. Even if you're not local, it's okay. But if you're willing to work in London or Chicago, or you want to work in Sydney or Houston, put those cities in there, put the countries too. Also, put the sector of industry. As PhDs, we tend to focus on very specific backgrounds, like computational analytical chemist, right? There's no job titles for that. That's not the sector of industry that I'm talking about. You want to be more broad. Most people in industry, especially hiring managers and recruiters who usually don't have PhDs, they're just going to say, I'm searching for a chemist or I'm searching for an engineer, right? So whatever your sector is, use all of the broad terms for that sector. Engineering, chemistry, right? It sounds simple, but a lot of us forget to do that. We get too specific. So don't be too specific. Focus on the sector of your industry, but not the academic with academic specificity, okay? Number 3, publish to Pulse. What is Pulse? Who knows what Pulse is? Some of you are on live. Who can tell me what Pulse is? So Pulse is LinkedIn's news feed. LinkedIn, think about LinkedIn from the company's perspective. They want people using LinkedIn. They don't want them just going there for a little while looking for a job or networking. They want people on there all the time, which is why they have a news feed, because it captures your attention, it keeps you on there, it keeps you interested. So they're going to reward you for using their news feed, for using Pulse. Okay, how can you use Pulse? You can comment or share an article. You can write your own article. Write a simple review, not a peer-reviewed review, but write a simple review of your field that you're currently in, or the field you want to get into, or something that you're interested in where you can put in keywords relative to the job that you want in that article. Even in your short posts on LinkedIn's newsfeed, use keywords, because again, LinkedIn's algorithm is going to take the fact that you're posting to Pulse and they're going to increase your visibility for it. They know what you're posting to Pulse, and if you're posting something that has to do with project management, they're going to increase your visibility, again, when employers are searching for project managers. Okay, so you see how everything ties in together, and it can get a bit confusing, but again, we're going to go through it tomorrow on our advanced webinar on LinkedIn, so make sure you get your free seat for that now, because we can only take on 1,000 people total. I don't know what we're at, but I know we usually get close to our limit in terms of the number of signups. Number 4, use the word relevant. I talked about this before. The word relevant is your best friend, because if you look at a job posting and it's asking for skills you don't have, that's okay, but you can talk about skills that you have that are relevant to those skills. Just because you haven't done, the exact experiment they're asking for, or you haven't done NMR, whatever, you can talk about skills that you have that are relevant to that. And this is not just for your technical skills, but also for your transferable skills, right? Your non-technical skills, conflict resolution skills, people management skills, client-facing skills. You want to talk about these transferable skills. Even if you don't have them, talk about your relevant transferable skills. And of course, overall, make sure everything you talk about is relevant to the jobs that you want. 5th and finally, alert recruiters or employers in general that you're ready, right? That you're ready to get hired. Most of us don't do this. On LinkedIn right now, even if you're not a premium member, you can go in and it's up in the top left-hand corner. And what you can do is you can set your profile to say available for being hired. You basically set a setting, and the nice thing is it's private. So only employers and recruiters and hiring managers can see this. So like your PI, your university's officials, if you're concerned about that, they can't see this. So you change your setting to basically say, I'm ready to be hired, I'm looking for a job. Most of you have not done this. You have to change that setting, and then you can put a few notes in there that recruiters and employers and hiring managers will see when they go to your profile. They'll see, oh, this person's actively looking for a job, and then they'll see the notes that you have to them. Now, I'm not going to go into too much more detail there. This is something we're going to cover in detail tomorrow during the advanced webinar. So make sure that you get your free seat for tomorrow's advanced webinar so I can show you how to turn this on and how to show employers privately that you're looking for a job. So hopefully this helps you. This takes us to the end of this whiteboard training Wednesday. If you have any questions on this, please ask them in a post in a comment on this post. I'll make sure that we get a link up so that you can learn more about our association. If you are looking to transition into industry, go to PhDsGetHired.com. PhDsGetHired.com. This will take you to our Cheeky Scientist Association, which is a job referral network specifically for PhDs, completely private, and it's a job search blueprint specifically for PhDs to show you the correct sequence, not a one-off strategy, but the entire sequence of getting hired in industry. So again, go to PhDsGetHired.com if you're interested. Our enrollment for the association is opening up on Monday, March 19th. And then once again, make sure you sign up for a free seat to our webinar tomorrow, March 15th, Thursday, March 15th. There's a 1 p.m. live show or a 9 p.m. live showing, Eastern Standard Time, U.S. I'll be there. I hope to see you on. Thank you and have a great rest of your week. As a reminder, and like we always say, remember your value as a PhD and start thinking and acting like a successful industry professional.